A clash between ICE agents and protesters played out in front of our cameras this afternoon.
This was a chaotic scene in South Minneapolis. Demonstrators clearly outnumbered ICE officers as local law enforcement tried to keep the peace. WCCO's Esme Murphy joins us now to show us what she and photojournalist Joe Kaczynski witnessed. Hi there, Esme.
Hi there, Amelia. Well, we were just down the street at the Carmel Mall, which is a popular Somali mall, when we heard a whistle, then we heard a second whistle, then we heard people screaming and saw people running. We ran too towards the scene. The first images were chaos, pushing, shoving, and screaming. We made our way to the center of the crowd and found a woman being held face down on the ground. People were screaming to let her go.
And why exactly does it matter that she's a woman specifically? You could have just said a person.
Woman being held face down on the ground. People were screaming
probably
to
a
let her
reason.
go.
We kept yelling, she's pregnant, she's pregnant, she's pregnant. They put their knees in her, and we kept telling them, she can't breathe, let her up, let her up.
In the chaos, the woman who was...
Okay, what did she do to get herself in that position, though? I understand, guys, we've seen enough police arrest videos to kind of realize that people just say immediately that they're pregnant. They immediately believe, at least, that that they can get away with nearly any and everything based off of some of these arrest videos that we've seen. So I understand if she's pregnant, I mean, obviously, don't allow her on the ground like that, right? But that is not a get out of jail free card, guys.
Handcuffed was suddenly being
Don't put yourself in a position immediately
to the angry crowd threw
for this to
snowballs
happen.
And screamed at the federal agents. We first heard this raid before we saw it. We could hear people whistling. A lot of people around here have whistles that apparently is what people are carrying as they watch out for ICE raids in South Minneapolis. Soon, more and more observers, neighborhood residents, people who heard the sound from Lake Street just 2 blocks away began gathering. And so did local law enforcement. We saw 2 Minneapolis police officers and a number of Hennepin County Sheriff's deputies arrive on the scene. At one point, it looked like a federal agent was pushed to the ground.
Yeah, it's unbelievable what I see right now.
Nah, it's okay because he's not pregnant, guys. Don't worry.
At one point, it looked like a federal agent was pushed to the ground.
Yeah, it's unbelievable what I see right now. In our city, our neighborhood, yeah, it's kind of a little bit of war going on.
As ICE began using pepper spray, some people needed help clearing their eyes. As the confrontations continued, one man who had appeared to be observing was suddenly on the ground as the crowd kept chanting at the officers to let him go. We saw one federal officer tasing another observer. DFL State Representative Aisha Gomez was there.
Bro, her hat says geriatric fetus. I just want you to understand that that is probably one of the most amazing hats I've ever seen in my entire life. Just want to go ahead and point that out. I would love to find that on Snapback or something like that, guys. That sounds intriguing. It's wild, though.
Well, so an ICE agent is now shooting at this crowd with pepper bullets, we think. These are just look, everybody's coughing. You can see this is escalatory, right? So we all just...
Wait. So it's escalatory because they're responding to a gigantic mob that is surrounding them while they're doing the job they were hired to do. Okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense here. So you're not escalating things by surrounding them and throwing things at federal officers? Guys, come on, bro.
We all just had chemical munitions used against us by federal agents, including you as part of the press, right?
Got it.
So this is what we're facing in the streets of Minneapolis
Then why
now.
are you there?
Is a full-on federal invasion.
Federal invasion.
Both the Minneapolis...
Not the people who broke into the country. Not those people specifically. That's not considered an invasion because that's offensive, right? But in the context of this here, you're saying the federal agents are specifically an invading force. Guys, things just don't make sense. I mean, words mean things, guys.
The Police Department and the Hennepin County Sheriff's Department says they were on the scene because they both got calls that federal agents were under attack. We did reach out to Homeland Security to see if they had anything to say. They did not get back to us, but in other cases, they have told us that their agents are increasingly coming under attack.
Well, yes, I mean, that's kind of multifaceted. If we go back a couple of years, obviously they were not being under attack large scale. The question would be why, I guess, right? And that answer is a pretty easy one. They weren't doing anything, right? Like they were basically cocked for the most part. They had really no ability to do anything. They just had to sit there and watch the literal crazy guys. That's it here. right? They weren't there. They weren't working, but now they are working. So of course they're now more visible, and you know, there's certain medias that are out here promoting and pushing all types of craziness, whistles and all types of wildness. I don't know, guys. But yeah, that's why they are being like attacked on a consistent basis these days, at least here. But either way, let's go and jump to the next part of this video here.
Stories right now. New this morning after months of debate and emotional testimony, the Robbinsdale School Board has voted to close 4 district buildings.
Now, this is a decision that all comes down to budget cuts and one that will reshape the district. Our Barrett Leone live in Robbinsdale with what the cut means for those families. Barrett?
What is
Hey, good morning, AJ, Heather. Right now, families, students.
Hold on, guys.
We're going to show you what our cameras caught, but before we do, we want to warn you this may be tough for you to see.
It's the same footage.
This clash lasted well over an hour. Both Minneapolis police and the Hennepin County Sheriff's deputies were on the scene at different times. And witnesses tell us 3 people were detained yesterday. We have reached out multiple times, but have not been able to confirm that with immigration and customs officials.
And workers are worried about ICE activity over at the airport. They made those concerns clear yesterday in front of the Metropolitan Airports Commission, which operates MSP. Rideshare drivers say federal agents have approached them as they wait to pick people up. The commission said that since the airport is federally regulated, there's not much that can be done. Now, this immigration crackdown is an ongoing and developing story we will continue to follow. Stay with us here on WCCO on air and online for the very latest updates just as soon as we learn them.
6:05, we want to get to the latest from the...
All right, guys, it seems like that's basically it in terms of the story here. Listen, guys, like I feel bad for the people that are obviously, you know, going through things due to their own actions, right? To a certain extent, right? But accountability specifically is one of these things where it's just like, bro, did you do something? Like, are you here under the guise of fraud in the first place? Like, is your asylum claim even like a legitimate one? Are you coming from a place where we have like given you refugee status temporarily, and the word temporarily was always in front of it? Like you understand what I'm trying to say here, guys? Like, I feel bad for the people that are kind of going through things that they had no idea that these things were going to happen, or they had no idea that they should definitely have done something at least during the temporary part of their status, right? To kind of become a papered visa holder or citizen at least, or any of these things here. But guys, we cannot take the world's population, bro. We can't. And then obviously there are people who have a lot, who they have a lot of, you know, feelings, let's say, and they see these things happening and they completely disregard the whole idea of logic in any of these instances and just follow their heart, I guess, right? Rather than the actual logical truth of the matters, let's say. And then they end up in these scenarios where federal agents have to go and remove the people that did nothing to kind of strengthen their case, guys, right? That and the fact that there are people who have come into the country illegally. It is what it is. Do you like criminality or do you not? Right? I mean, that's kind of what that's all it is. That's all that's there right here, guys. I mean, there's that's it. There's nothing else, guys. If you're here illegally, you have to leave. And I think that's fair, right? Personally. I understand you may have been going through things that all these things brought you here, right? But you had all of the time and chances specifically to do something kind of about it, but you did nothing about it. Right? That's it. You know, obviously when it comes down to like the children specifically, that's a whole different opinion on that one there. Like what are they called, guys? No. Not anchor baby. I think that's a term used to refer to someone who specifically was pregnant walking through the border. I'm not talking about those people, those right there. The dreamers, I think they're called, guys. Like that's a completely different scenario, I think, personally, right? That's a different argument. That definitely involves a little bit more tact than specifically removing the people that willfully came into the country in an illegal manner, guys. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.